Love is not enough, baby. Come to me, Molo. Love me or you hate me, know me. No mess with me, Mologo. NSC 250, come along, titi. Giuseppe's are naughty, in a Maserati. Hey, baby, easy. Fine boy like you, easy. You won't kiss somebody, follow sweet melody. Normally, oh, ojoojúmọ́ là ń ṣayé, oh, Luckily, oh, mo lówó tí mo fẹ́ ná, Me, I just want to be high, be high, be high. Me, I just want to be high, be high, be high. Me, I just want to be high.
Why is it important to bring the African diaspora together?
I believe that we are stronger together than we are apart. That's a personal philosophy that I have. So unity is very important, especially when it comes to things like passing down lineage and passing down history and just understanding where you come from, able to take steps towards progress.
How often do you do events like this?
It's actually my first event.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the event so far?
I like it. Yeah, I like seeing just the business aspect of everything, seeing everybody have something that they're very passionate about, having people just have a personal story that ties along to the product that they're selling and giving is very cool. So to be able to have a space where they're able to create and expand and grow is the coolest part to me. So my website is thegeneralblueprint.com, TheGenneral Blueprint, BLUEPRINT.com. My Instagram is The General's Army, spelled the same exact way.
Hi everyone, my name is TJ. My official name is Tori Sheju. I'm going to be the host today for the African Expo, and you guys can find us on Instagram and Facebook as well. I will be hosting today, and we have vendors, and we have DJ, music, art, a fitness guru, we have poetry, so we have all kinds of things for you guys today for you to witness. So I hope you guys will make it. So it's important to bring the African diaspora together so that way we can keep culture through the generations. And the more that we have social media, different tools that we can use to spread through word of mouth our culture, our traditions, some of us are traditions, and also just family build-ups. You know, it's a great way for us to come together as a community and to continue to just kind of like, you know, rub shoulders and build each other up as much as we can. So my favorite part today is definitely the music. I love to dance, you know, from Nigeria, so we got to represent. Then the vendors, everyone has at least one or two things that's unique to them, and I think it's really great that they can come out and display and, you know, at least have, you know, people see what they can offer. And there's accessories, artwork, beading. I mean, I've just seen all kinds of colors, and I love colors myself, so that's my favorite part of the day. There's an importance to supporting Black businesses because we all know how the economy has been up and down, right? And as much as we can, let's keep things within the community. We have different immigrants that come from different countries, and they have built their own communities, and I'm sure you can mention some off the top of your head that have been thriving through the years. So let's do the same thing with, you know, with ourselves as well. And, you know, let's grow, let's encourage each other, let's build, let's expand as much as we can. That's why it's important to build up with Black businesses.
Well, I'm Laura Crawley. I'm the president of the congregation here at St. John's Lutheran Church on Ponce, and we're really thrilled to be able to host the African Expo. I love seeing all the beautiful clothes. I bought 6 bottles of hot sauce. Very excited about that. The food was delicious. Had some amazing chickpea potatoes and sweetbread. I would have probably eaten 2 more lunches if I had room. There was plenty of delicious food. And just visiting with people, just getting to hear how things are made and what people are making and what they're excited about has been wonderful. Also spending time with friends. We have to support Black businesses. We have to support small businesses of all kinds, but especially Black businesses for the cultural relevance, for the history, for the tradition, and for the future. Black businesses keep the money in the Black community and keep traditions alive and keep innovation alive in the Black community. So I think it's very important to support Black businesses.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My name is Blee J. Ennis. I'm glad to be at the Africa Expo here today. I am the managing director of a company called Tribe Buchanan Development. We're a construction company based in Liberia, West Africa. We're one of the sponsors of the Africa Expo for this year, and I'm here representing our company and also going to be a panelist for the entrepreneur session today. I think it's very important to bring the African diaspora together because we're one people. Unity and collaboration is key to developing our communities, not just here in America, but back home in Africa as well. So bringing the diaspora together allows us to be able to learn one another, understand our culture, understand where we're from, and to be able to bring our minds, our ideas, our experiences, and our resources together in order to be able to develop our communities here and abroad on the African continent. It's very, very important that we support Black businesses because Black businesses are the pillars of our communities. The economic system is the pillar of developing our communities, removing us from poverty, reducing crime, and all of that starts with us supporting one another. An event like the Africa Expo is an amazing platform to allow us to be able to see what's happening in our community, to be able to learn about some of the amazing Black businesses that we often don't have an opportunity to be able to connect with on a platform like this. So this is an amazing event that's doing that on an amazing level.
All right, my name is Vince.
And I'm Elroy.
We're with T2O Trap Water.
T2O.
So we're just here to bring some hydration choices to the patrons of this event. We're glad to be here, and we're just thankful for the opportunity to educate about proper hydration and
just to let people know about the T2O and experience the water, get a vibe. We're trying to bring hydration back to the culture of hip hop, culture of trap music and Atlanta. Of course, our company and the water itself is born and raised in Georgia. Well, born in the Blue Ridge, raised in the streets of Atlanta.
facts.
Like we say. And it's all pH balanced, neutral, natural spring water. Very tasty, silky, smooth taste that everyone will like and enjoy. Well, it's important to support Black business because we are a community and it's good that we can help ourselves. We are one of the biggest buying community in the entire world, if not America, for sure. So the more we support ourselves, the more we can support each other, and the more we can be more important to this country.
Okay.
Keeping that buying power and recirculating the Black dollar within the community is going to make us stretch a little bit further. Diaspora, we're not a minority, right? We're the global majority, if you think about it, or if you look at it scientifically, historically, we're the global majority. So having that kind of power, having the economic power with the diaspora, having the communicative power that we can all bring as a people is powerful. We just have to realize it, and we have to employ it or deploy it rather, and just get everybody to be on board to start thinking in that mindset, communicative, and be on one accord and helping one another grow. Each one teach one is more than just nursery rhymes, or just more than just saying different things in theory, but actually putting those things into practice, and each one is actually teaching one. We can go a lot further, but again, it starts in the mind, it starts in the heart. We have to change those minds and change the hearts to get people to come on one accord and be about their business, or our business rather.
And having one voice, our voice will greatly be heard.
So a lot of people ask why the word trap. Trap is very commonplace in Atlanta or in the metro Atlanta area, but trap to us means to rise above poverty, right? TRAP. And poverty is not just financially. Poverty is a mindset. Poverty is emotional deficit. Poverty is physical deficit. So what are you doing to rise above poverty, especially in the time of economic downturn? What are you doing to get yourself and your family in a better position? Are you seeking counseling for your emotional and mental health issues? Are you going to the gym? Are you eating properly? Are you drinking enough water? all those things are part of the poverty mindset or part of an impoverished system. So what are you doing to get out of those different areas of deficit? So to us, that's what trap means. And while you're getting over your trap, you got to fuel the trap with trap water. Hydrate the culture.
Okay. Thank you.
In 2019, in dialogue and collaboration with scholars and American actors of African descent, Ghana's Hospitality and Tourism Department opened the country to UP's experience, the Year of Return, commemorating 400 years since Africans were forcefully stripped from the western coast of the continent and brought to the Americas. This was an open invitation for all people of African descent and the diaspora to come and experience the homeland of their ancestors, the place of the beginning. To ponder on what it meant to them, what it meant to be stripped from their language and culture, and to celebrate their survival in spite of the trauma. The Year of Return was also a time to spark inspiration and imagination. It called us to be inspired by the beauty, the vibrance, the hospitality, and resourcefulness of Africa, and to use that as a catalyst to bring about a new reality where we in the diaspora take ownership of telling a nuanced narrative of Africa, rebuild our continent where it is broken, and protect it from the greatest current threat, neo-colonialism. I'm Anita Sappho, also Nita Pop, and I'm very nervous, but I got this.
You got it, girl. Take your time.
I got this.
Take your time.
I am the founder of the Culture Shock Show, and my mission has always been to merge culture together through art, fashion, film, music. I like to work with people from back home who are trying to build businesses here in the diaspora, and also use art to entice people to try to appreciate and celebrate culture. So that's what I've been doing for the past 9 years, and it's an honor to be here and moderate this panel. Next to me I have Kwabena Kwatin, who is a first-generation Ghanaian American. He's a graduate of the University of Mississippi and a proud brother of the distinguished Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. He's also the owner of Ice Cafe and Grill, and he's my cousin.
Most important part.
The most important part. The restaurant Ice Cafe and Grill actually started in the back of an African grocery store where they offered raw ingredients shipped directly from various countries in Africa, and it was owned by his parents. And Kwab saw the opportunity working at Ike's Tropical, which is the name of the grocery store, and decided to open a restaurant in 2013. Kwab's purpose for opening the restaurant was to bring a piece of Africa to America so that people who love food from all walks of life could experience a great taste of our home. To essentially bridge the gap in the community. Almost 8 years later, the Ice brand has expanded to another location and a hotel in Kumasi, Ghana, and the mission remains the same, to further unite the African, Black, and Caribbean and the diaspora by offering an experience like no other. And next to Kwab, we have Jamila Kizondo. Did I say that correctly? Great. So Jamila is the founder and owner of Jikazondo Swahili Bites and Uswahilini na Jikazondo. Did I? Mm-hmm. Great. Great.
I'm gonna teach you Swahili once we're done with this.
Okay, I'm ready. Based in Atlanta, Georgia. Her Swahili food journey began in Japan in 2017 and is currently serving in USA and across since 2019. Her cuisine flavors are mainly Kenyan Mombasa coastal influence. Mombasa coastal influence, from Swahili meals to Swahili delicacies, Swahili drinks, and Swahili spices. Her dream behind her Swahili cooking is to fill in the gap between her Swahili culture and the human well-being. Her pride and strength is in the ability to branch out of the Swahili community talent in America and beyond, from Swahili food and cooking to Kiswahili,
Kiswahili language.
Kiswahili language, Swahili culture, and beauty. All these intimately connect her to her roots. Next to Miss Jamila is Blee Ennis. Blee was born in Buchanan, Liberia, and grew up in Monrovia. For most of his early childhood before escaping the country with his family in 1996 during the nation's Civil War, he completed his undergraduate studies in the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
No. And he received his BA in international business. He attained his master's from Georgetown University in global real estate studies and development. Blee worked in Washington, D.C. for 6 years for the nation's leading commercial real estate data and marketing firm. There he worked with some of D.C.'s leading developers, investors, brokers, and property managers. Blee has an extensive real estate and business development experience, both in Liberia and abroad. His passion for development of his country and people led him back home to contribute his skills and resources. And last but not least, we have Mr. Victor Ayara. Okay, good. When they don't say anything, I'm like, okay, I got it.
Ayara.
Ayara.
Thank you.
No problem. Prior to moving to the United States of America several years ago, Victor Ayara was one of Nigeria's most versatile TV personalities and recognizable faces. Beginning his career in Galaxy Television, Lagos, Victor continued to forge his journalistic talents in television and radio with Silverbird Television and Rhythm 93.7 FM Lagos. He hosted the widely acclaimed Head to Head, known for its hard-hitting interview style. His guests include heads of government, Congress members, politicians, business tycoons, celebrities, and the average Joe. He was also the co-host of the award-winning breakfast show Today on STV and Viewpoint on Rhythm 93.7 FM. In 2011, Ayara hosted Lagos State governorship debate, and the year before that, in 2010, he won the Newscaster of the Year award and the whole Nigeria. As a professional master of ceremonies and a seasoned singer, Victor has performed for a large and small audiences, including the former president of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Very few MCs can switch from hosting to singing at top-notch events the way Ayara does. Ayara's versatility, along with his engaging personality on screen, professionalism, and has cemented his position as a sought-after event host and manager of protocols. From conventions of over 1,000 attendees to weddings, galas, and smaller events, Ayara has done it all. By putting the client's needs first and researching his audience, Ayara functions effectively and efficiently as a single thread that sews any event's fabric together with spontaneous humor, class, and finesse. So, we're about to dive into the questions, but before that, we're going to have Mr. Victor Ayara sing for us.
All right. This is being put on the spot, but I am very used to that, putting people on the spot. So it's okay when the tables turn. So I will, for a moment, close your eyes and imagine that you are in Africa. And just imagine that you are under the mango tree with my grandmother. And then occasionally you open your eyes to look at the glowing moon and the sounds of the crickets all around in peace and serenity. All you have to do for me is just respond. Iyo, iyo, eno, eno, iyo, eno nkedi diomu for you know. Iyo, utukema kwara wamba iwa. Iyo, iwa de dionge du kamowo. Iyo. Iyo, 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 iyo. Welcome back.
Love it. Thank you so much, Diara.
That's nice.
So, as we dive into these questions, I'm going to go ahead and start with Quab since he's right next to me. Your bios touched on what you do for Africa and in Africa. Can you elaborate on your initiatives and the places you see for connections that can lead to things for sustainable development, investment, and social transformation back home?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody. It's a privilege to get to talk about all the developments and things that we're doing in Ghana and all parts of West Africa. So one of the first things, since Thanksgiving is kind of coming up, we do have a initiative that we call Ike's Giving. And so Ike's Giving is basically a time where we go to some of the local hospitals and some of the local villages, and we bring a lot of goods like oatmeal and different foods and things like that, and we bring them to the hospitals for the less privileged. And it's something that we started about 2 years ago, that it just came from my dad one day saying, hey guys, I'm giving you guys $10,000, and what I want you guys to do is just feed as many people as possible. And so I remember just thinking, I was like, wait a second, you want us to use all the money or just a little bit of it? He said, no. To the last penny of it, I want you guys to make sure that you guys get out there. And so we went from village to village, just giving food and things like that. And one thing that I felt about it and I saw about it was just the happiness that people had. And people were looking at us and they were like, wait, like, did the government give you guys this? Or like, what's kind of happening? And just to see how happy they were, and to see, people saying, God bless you, God continue to push, your business, just meant so much. So that's one initiative that we have that's called Ice Giving. And then the next one that we do have is a cultural exchange program, where we do take some of our employees from the restaurant here, and we take them to Ghana, and then also some of our employees that are at our Ghana restaurant, we bring them to America. It's something that we're just now getting started, and it's going pretty well. And I think that one thing that that we do get from it, that everybody does get from it, is just the education. Sometimes an employee works at Ike's Cafe and Grill. Maybe they're not African, and maybe they also want to get an opportunity to taste the culture, the music and everything like that. So I remember our first employee that we brought there, her name was Fumi, and she was from Nigeria, but it was her first time, even though she was African, it was her first time going to Ghana. It was just a good experience, because now when she, let's say when she got back, even when she's serving with a different vim, because it's nothing more fun when you understand, okay, this is the food and this is the meaning of it, and this is the prestige that it has in the country. And those are things that sometimes when you get there, you can actually get to see. And then also, we also bring employees from our African hotel and restaurant over here. And I think in Africa, sometimes our tourism is growing, especially Ghana, but one of the things that sometimes lacks is customer service, and appreciation for customers just in general. And so those are one of the things that as we're bringing employees from there to get the experience of here and get the customer service and things like that. And we think of Ike's not just as a place that they should work, but as a university. Because I always tell everybody that we hire them that, hey, we don't want just employees here, we want future business owners. And so, one thing that I've learned is that how you treat someone else's business is sometimes how someone else is going to do it, also treat your business in the future. So, just installing those principles and things like that, I think means a lot, and it's something that whenever someone works there, they're not just getting monetary gains, but they're also gaining things that they can use to help them in the future. So those are some of the things that Ike's Cafe and Grills do.
Thank you, Bob. And for you, Jamila, what are some initiatives that you have back home, or ideas or ways that you see that could open doors for development?
Say that again.
What are some initiatives that you have back home, or some things that you may see, like some ideas or some ways that you may see for like sustainable development back home?
Coming from a background where culture is something that we are born, it's an inborn thing. you know, and being raised by cultural parents, being raised by cultural community, we believe so much into accepting each other and embracing each other. Yeah. And by doing so, we believe we keep our identity in a way, right? Like how I'm dressed up today. This is something that I've seen it before with my parents and the people I've grown with in our communities. And I feel it's high time that, you know, it doesn't matter which part of the world I'm gonna be, I'm gonna work with what I was brought up with, all right? So I believe me dressing up like this is something that is an initiative to remind the generation that you should not be brainwashed to even change your clothes or change your dress up. Be proud of, you know, the ancestors or the roots of where you come from, you know, because some are shy. They'll be, I'm not gonna wear that, Jamila, I'm wearing jeans, or I'm wearing pants, you know. But I feel I'm proud the way I am because it's something that beautifies me and it's something that really shows who I am. So the initiative of me taking along here is to take the fear out of people, or take the fear out of the generation, the fear of them showing who they are, yeah, or what the power they have, okay? I'll give you an example. When I was in my elementary school, I used to come back home crying because of my name. My name is Kizondo, you couldn't say it, right? So I told Daddy, I need to change this name, I don't like it. People don't understand what it is. Then he told me, you need to have self-knowledge. You need to know yourself. But you knowing yourself is accepting of who you are. You know, and since then I've been like, whatever. You know, I love myself, I love my name, I love my color, I love my people, and that is something which I brought it from Africa to here, you know, and I'm also here to take that generation back home. I'm dressed up like this. I don't know if any of you is from the Swahili community here. Anybody? Nobody? There's no East African here? That's sad. Yeah. If there was any East African and saw me like this, they'll be like, oh, Mama has come to take us back home. Because that's how mamas dress up. So I did this intentionally to show that I'm here as Jamila, as Jake is on the Swahili Bites, to take my people back home, you know, and to teach the younger generation also that there are people that you've left back in Africa that you need to go back and embrace them and love them and share whatever you have.
I love it, thank you.
Asante kabisa.
Oh, see? Karibu. So you're there, right? Why are you quiet? You don't have been on your East African or what?
So when you take them back home, that opens the door for BJ to, you know, bring his real estate expertise in.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna roll the question over to you and just remember, like, what are some initiatives or places where you see connections that can lead to sustainable development or investments or social transformation back home?
To answer that question, I think one of the largest ways is transfer of knowledge for me. In a space that I work in construction and property development, one of the things that we see in Liberia is you have a lot of students who go to school for engineering, architecture, but they have no practical knowledge. It's all theory. They go to school, sometimes you pay your professors to fast track your education, and when you get out of school, you don't know how to apply that knowledge in any way. So one of the things that we did when we established our firm in Liberia was setting up an internship program. Going into the different universities and getting students to be able to put them in the field and be able to give them practical knowledge, and not just treating them as, you know, as laborers. There's a big thing in most African countries, not just Liberia, where you have foreign firms that come in, they do the work, especially in construction, infrastructure development. They do the work and then they leave. They transfer no knowledge. They keep the locals at just a level of labor. And then when something breaks and you need to maintain something, you have to go and hire that foreigner to come back again in order to be able to do so. And I think that's completely ridiculous. And for us, we're very, very passionate about transferring that knowledge to the younger people. I challenge a lot of our interns a lot of times to reach beyond what, the surface level aspects of what they feel that they can be when they grow up. So when they're working in the field, I challenge them to ask questions. I challenge them to build relationships with people who are on site, because I want to see them in my position. I want to see them in management positions, just don't want to see them in lower level positions. So that's one thing that we've been able to do in order to be able to promote social development and change, and just through the networks that we're connected to. Our firm is supported by a US-based construction firm. So one of the things that we're doing with that is it's also kind of with like the cultural exchange that my brother here spoke about as well, and seeing how we can get some of our interns in order to be able to come to the U.S. To connect with U.S. universities or U.S. firms to be able to get an experience of how the type of system that the U.S. has, and the quality and attention to detail, so that they can go back home and be able to start their own firms one day and be able to be able to apply that type of knowledge, so that we're no longer looking abroad for help, but all of the resources and all of the knowledge that we need are homegrown, and they're there as well too. So that's a large initiative. All of our projects in Liberia, when you go to our projects, you'll see young people on site, and they're not just there standing around. They're very, very active. We're very hands-on with them. You see a lot of women on our site as well too. We push a lot of female engineers, and that's one thing a lot of people get excited about when they come to our our project site. They see a lot of women who are getting their hands dirty. They're there with the men, and they're working, even harder than a lot of the men, sometimes. So, that's an exciting thing to be able to see, and it boosts the confidence of a lot of them. A lot of our young people come in to these programs with no confidence, and you can see after working with them through a 6-month internship program how confident they are. They're asking questions, and they're teaching their fellow classmates about standards and practices that they've been able to see on our site. So, that's one of the ways that, through what we're doing, that we're pushing, sustainable development and social change, through our firm back home.
Right. We'll roll that right over to you as well, Victor.
Yes. What are we doing? What have we done? I will speak in 2 capacities. I'll speak as Victor Ayara, myself, the son of my mother, and the brother of everyone on this table, who have had to move out of Africa as an economic refugee. And I say that because the United States of America is undoubtedly the greatest country in the world. And I'm going to say why I say that. There is knowledge that has been in existence in this country for hundreds of years. And even my ancestors, the Nkrumahs of this world, the Nnamdi Azikiwes of this world, came to America to school at some point in time. It was not a thing that for Africans to just move to live outside of Africa. They will study, get the knowledge, and go back. I'm trying to provide some kind of background, because sometimes people see me and say, what refugee camp did you come from? Or how did you get here? Or where are you from? I'm a naturalized United States citizen. This is my home. I'm not going anywhere. But at the same time, there's something about this dual citizenship that presents what I see as an opportunity, what I see as a challenge in the sense that I still think in my language, in my head. It takes a split second for me as a non-native speaker of English to translate what I'm thinking into English. And so what did I do when I came to America? I lived in the beautiful cornfield state of Iowa. I love me some corn, okay? I lived in Iowa, and I was a communications advisor for Africans in the state of Iowa. And one of the first things I did was based on my experience with America. Because America came to me personified. America came as a person to me. When I was back in Nigeria, running around barefoot in my compound, in my father's compound, a white Caucasian male, at the time about 35 or 33 years of age, from Staten Island, New York, saw one of my artworks and decided to sponsor me in school. And so I went to school on scholarship from a total stranger. But he was my first encounter with America. When I came to the state of Iowa, the first week I arrived in Iowa, a couple, a white Caucasian couple, gave me a car gift and said, you're going to need a car to drive and move around. And so that was my experience with America at first. I'm going to say at first, because America gave me a vista, a new horizon. And so I asked myself, a country that allows me to own a home, actually 2 homes now, allows me to live my dream, to work, raise a family, be safe. What can I do? I ask that question because there's a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of stereotyping, because people don't get to do what we're doing right now. People don't get to have a conversation. And BJ here is sitting here, Nita, Corbina, Jamila, we're all sitting here because of a conversation. A conversation that happened between your pa and your ma. I don't know what your pa said to your ma. Hello, beautiful girl, how are you? And boom, here you are. So, conversations are important. Especially in the political environment where we live right now, there's a lot of social tantrums everywhere. But when the chips are down, how much do we get to have conversations with each other? Right. So what I started in my personal capacity was to start a company called Culture Bridge Concepts. And it's been registered in Iowa since 2015. What we do essentially is this: organize opportunities for people to get to talk, for people to get to know each other, hear each other's stories. Because there's a lot of misconceptions. People watch a lot of American movies in Africa, and they don't understand the reality of being in America. You have to work hard. And a friend of mine jokingly said, America is like a big workshop. When you scan your visa at the airport, you have clocked in. And you just keep working. It provides an opportunity, like my brother said, knowledge transfer. So what I do essentially, I mentor young people in Africa, in whatever field. Because when I was coming here, they told me, Mr. Yara, what can you do for us when you get to America? I said, I'll connect you with knowledge and information. Knowledge is power. A lot of times I just deferred my doctorate. We spend a lot of time studying. But a lot of times what we need is learning practical skills. Skills to make things. Skills to create things, to manufacture things, to improve things. Because what Africa needs is not aid. And as much as I appreciate giving aid to Africa, Africa has been giving the world aid from time immemorial. You may agree or disagree with me, but the raw materials of Africa, but what happened, I know my time is almost up, but I'm just going to say this real quick. The raw materials from Africa drove the industrial revolution of the West. And so people should stop talking about aid to Africa. People should talk about knowledge transfer like BJ said. People should talk about setting up experiences where people learn what are the best things that we have in America. Let's take it back home. And that is what I try to facilitate. Cross cultures, cross Atlantic knowledge sharing, where you, whatever you're doing, you can adopt a child. Whether you're a nurse in America, you can adopt a little child for as little as $10 a month. You are setting that child up to become a successful nurse. That is what we should do more, and that's what I'm doing. And on the side of my company, I am working with several states in Africa to do human capital development. That is what I'm working, which is still in line with what I do on a personal level.
We will dive deeper
Thank
in.
you.
I just want to make sure we get through.
Thank you,
No
thank
problem.
you.
So,
And I'm going to shut up now.
No, don't. Just get ready because the questions will get a little bit, we'll get deeper. So I guess I have to be honest because I have to answer the question as well. I have not been on the continent in 21 years, but I will say from my experience of growing up here and then going back to the country, when I got back, I was one of those kids that was kind of ashamed of where I was in, that are on this continent that need help. So I'm answering the question one because I'm about to roll into question two. And this is why I started that. So we're kind of in a black renaissance right now. When you turn on the radio, you hear African music. There's African restaurants all over, especially in Georgia. And Black Americans and Caribbeans are kind of flocking to Africa right now. They're settling there, finding the loss that we're missing and providing those businesses there. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's truly like we've never seen before, but I definitely believe that the cultural appreciation is truly like it's never been seen before, for sure. And my question to you all is why now? And what is different about this era? And what has created the appeal to be connected to Africa? And I'm gonna go ahead and answer that. Like I said, I believe that we made the culture cool. We made what we were doing cool. We opened that gateway and we brought it, and we provided platforms to make it a little louder here, because what they had here was like what was on the bookshelf. So we provided the new era, and I love to see it. So anyone can answer the question. We're gonna start from Victor, back.
Okay, well, the appeal that we think, because I have always known this forever, Africa is a cradle of civilization, of humanity. Collective humanity is based on the fact that the oldest men, humans, were found in that geographical location called Africa. Now, it is not surprising that over the years we have had this kind of mentality, which I think was brought on by colonialism. The colonialists came to Africa, discarded everything African, and sometimes I just wonder, especially for non-Africans, for Africans who come to America and fail to empathize with the African American brothers. And I feel that there should be an African American on this table as well. The reason I say that, every immigrant group that is today enjoying any kind of liberty in America rides on the shoulders of the African American. So what has happened over the years is that the African, you and I, who comes here and succeeds, sometimes plays into this role of tokenism. And I know when I speak and somebody says, oh, you speak English good, I say, your English sounds great too. But the only difference is I learned with candlelight, where there was no electricity. So I actually learned it. Yours is spoken around you, so it's a given. Anyway, that's an aside. The appeal that African clothes and everything African has to the rest of the world today should not be surprising. Because when you go black, you can't go back. And the world has gone black. The world has gone African. And this is not to disparage or discountenance or in any way try to sound racist. I'm just saying that our basic humanity suggests that we, all of us, regardless of what race we identify as, we should have a little bit of African in us. And that aside, it is also insulting when people come. I work in corporate America for a couple of years now, and somebody will walk up to you and say, oh, we're going to have African Day, so we're going to have African food, and we're going to have African music and African dance. I'm like, I am more than dance and food and music. What about African values? Respect for one's parents, not talking back. What about communal living? where I don't have to know this brother, but I can call him my brother. It doesn't have to be biological. What about the spirit of Ubuntu, which means I am because you are? Those are the things that I would like us to see more. For Africans and African Americans to get together, and then the rest of the world to learn from that experience. The rest of the world to connect. I mean, I tell my friends, especially my white friends, I had a band that was 15 members strong, and I was the only black person in the band. And some of my friends have been to Africa. And I say, what is it about you that makes you feel that you go to Africa as a wide-eyed tourist and you want to play with the lions and mingle with the locals? And you're going to Rwanda. Meanwhile, you have a Rwandan neighbor living next door to you, and you've never said hello to him in 7 years. Think about the experience. If you're able to say, my Rwandan neighbor, I am going to Africa, and he says, you are going to Africa? Let me teach you conversational Rwanda. That you can actually say hello, because when you say hello, in my language, I said it is saying to my Ghanaian brother and sister, and I said Abari to my Kenyan brother and sister. It is something beautiful to make the effort. And please don't ask me to change my name, because it's my identity. I stand behind it. So I believe in the next couple of years, to answer your question, Nita, and shut up, that Africans will continue. African music and arts will take its rightful place, because people don't understand what happened. In the years of colonialism, arts from Africa, taken from the Kingdom of Benin, from Dahomey, from the Songhai Empire, from the Mandinkan Empire, taken all the way to Switzerland, to France, to the museums in London. They are just now being returned. So there is so much to be proud of, and there's so much to learn from. This is what is happening right now, and to continue to build on that momentum. Thank you very much.
Thank you. J, so what's your take on why this Black Renaissance is happening, and can you agree that there's a Black Renaissance now?
Yeah, I absolutely agree that it's a Black Renaissance now. To answer that question, I would answer it with one word, and that's access. I think today there's more access to Africa, and Africa has more access to the rest of the world. I came from Liberia at a very young age, and when I came to America for the first time, there was a lot of ignorance around what Africa was from a lot of people. So, did you see a lion? Did you have a pet lion? Did you have a pet cheetah? Did you live in a mud hut? And all these different things. I'm like, I've never seen a lion a day in my life. Like Africa's a very, very big continent. There are parts of Africa you won't even see certain animals. You don't have access to certain things. And I used to be upset when I was younger, but as I got older and more mature, I realized that you can't blame people for that ignorance because they didn't have access, right? So like you talked about with colonialism, the purpose of colonialism was to strip away that access, right? When slaves were brought over, they were told to forget about Africa. They were taught that Africa was a dark continent with nothing good there. It was just bush and animals, and so you created this mindset of what Africa was, and you closed the door of access. Nobody wanted to go back to Africa. There was no longing for Africa, and then Africans on the continent had no access to the rest of the world to know what was actually happening. And I think as far as what's happening right now with access, technology has played a huge role in that. For me, I have a lot of Liberians left Liberia because of the Civil War, and a lot of them have that horror still in the back of their minds that they'll never go back home. But not knowing that the last several years, Liberia has been very peaceful. Liberia is progressing tremendously, and every time I get on a plane and I'm going back home, I see the plane packed with foreigners. But I'm asking the question, why is it that we are not going back home, right? So I started taking it upon myself through my social media platform. Every time I go home, I document things. I'm showing the good side of home as far as what's happening, and that made a lot of people reach out to me. Man, I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know that real estate development was happening. I didn't know that you could purchase a beautiful property on the beach for little to nothing. I didn't know that you can own a farm. You can go into
diamond mining, and just all of these things that you can't even fathom anywhere else in the world is happening on the continent, but we weren't benefiting from it. But I think, now the world has access. People have African friends. I think almost everybody has an African friend, whether it's in their church, it's in their school, it's at work. Now they have access to that African friend who can share the culture with them, and they see how beautiful the culture is. And I think people are able to connect to it, and my brother spoke about the values of Africa. Those are the things, those are core values that, that the culture has, and it's easy to be able to fall in love with that. So, I think, I'm so excited about the renaissance that's happening. The world deserves to know what's actually happening in Africa, and, and to be able to end that, I would say, to go and visit Africa if you've never gone, right? That's step one. I have a lot of friends who reach out and say, oh, I want to do something in Africa, I want to invest in Africa, I want to do this, and I say, don't even talk about investing until you go, right? Just go and experience.
And let us know when you're going.
Exactly. So just go and experience without any reservations and be able to go, and then you come back and your mind is transformed. And now you're able to educate someone who's ignorant and say, no, that's not what Africa is. This is what Africa actually is. So, I believe that's been happening. That's why African music, African culture has been on, such a rampage lately, and that growth is going to continue to happen. And I think, it's just the beginning. And I think more people are going to learn what Africa truly is, and the continent's ultimately going to be able to benefit from that.
Thank you. So we are getting a little pressed for time. So what I want to do is open the floor for questions to our panelists from the audience. And if not, then I'll just wrap up the questions that I do have. So, okay, well, I saw your hand shoot up first.
Thank you, and I walked in very late, so there's so much wisdom that I've caught already. I'm sorry I walked in late. But I wanted to just, the question that I heard you address to the panel, that this is the first time we've had such an interest in the continent, is actually not true, and I'm old enough to know that. And younger people, it's almost like when I heard young people, young medical students actually, when they were talking about what was happening in Ferguson, said, oh wow, this is the first time we're trying to do something about these killings. And I was like, no. So the first thing I have to say is, historically, so I'm 66 years old, so I lived through, the return to Africa, but then there was Marcus Garvey before, and so the first thing that we need to do is all of us know our history, and then, so that it's not cyclical, we need to figure out what stood in the way of there being a continuation. What stood in the way that made past moments not movements, right? And what's going to stand in the way of us going from a moment of even just understanding anti-racism and the importance of that, and make that not a moment, but a movement. So I just say that there's history stuff that we need to do, and we need to figure out, we have to study our history to figure out how to keep momentum. Otherwise, things rise and fall, and each generation thinks they're the first one to do something, or that this is the first time there's an interest. So that's just a call out to the importance of history. And then also, my brother, at the end, I just really want to say that it is true that many immigrant groups, including immigrant groups from different African countries, and I avoid saying Africa, it's a huge continent with many countries, but from the Caribbean and all, who come to the United States, and because they believe the myth of meritocracy, if you work hard, you will make it, which is one of the huge myths in this country that is underlying racism denial in this country. But because they believe this, and they look down on African Americans, and it's not until they have their children and they start seeing some of the same characteristics, because those children grew up being undervalued and all like that, that they understand. So thank you for recognizing the importance of us having solidarity, and for the African Americans in the room, we need to have solidarity with our African brothers and sisters who are not coming and trying to take anything from us. We need to be solid together, like collective action and collective consciousness is really what's going to save us and propel us, and maybe will keep us going, as opposed to fragmenting the way that we have fragmented in generation and generation and generation before.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, for my brother from the Ice Bar. When you, I'd like to know some of the reflections from those American students or employees that you take home. If you could talk about the reflections from the American employees that you take home and when they come back and what they tell you.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say that not all of it is positive. There is positive and there is negative. Some of the I guess the positives that we would say is that some stereotypes and some certain mindsets that they did have of Africa and how Africa is a little different. But let me tell you, I don't know if they have something called a trotro. I don't know if you guys, which is a small van that yes, it might be tuk-tuk, and I think in Nigeria it's called keke. Keke, yes. You know,
tricycle.
And it's a small van, and basically like 12 to maybe 15 people sometimes are packed in the van. And I remember me and Fumi and I said, this is all part of the African experience. And she was like, no, that part, I don't want to get in that van. And so that part, they didn't necessarily like. But one thing that I could tell they liked is that as soon as they got there and they're like, you get to the airport and everybody is black. You know what I mean? It's something different. They've never seen it before. And so, now, going to villages and seeing that, hey, this is the way life is. And to be honest with you, a lot of people realize how privileged they are to be in the United States and to be able to, get an education and to be able to, because sometimes some of the waitresses, sometimes they go there and they notice that, wait, so this person's working this hard? And how much are they getting paid? Oh man, this isn't how I thought it was. So those are some of the experiences that I do feel as if people did get, but the positive ones are there and the negative ones are there. I don't know if I was able to.
Yes, and one follow-up. Do you ever have anyone that didn't want to come back?
No. Funny enough, I would even say this. Sometimes you'd be surprised. Some of my Ghanaian brothers, African brothers and sisters are the ones that actually don't want to come back. But funny enough, our brothers from the diaspora, they would actually go there and want to come back. But sometimes even, I'll say some of my family members who came here, they're like, I'm never going back to Ghana again, and I'm wondering, why.
Yeah, I want to append to this lady. I'll speak from an Afro-Caribbean person. I'm Guyanese. And while geographically in South America, certainly culturally and economically Caribbean. And to the notion that Victor raised, the fact that there isn't a sort of diasporic connectivity or connectiveness in people that all look alike in terms of dark melanin, it is very disappointing. And there is that sort of setup, if you will. If you come through the port of New York, for example, and you're in Brooklyn and you're there with your brothers and sisters from Africa, and there's this setup of the model minority, in other words, of Caribbean people versus African Americans, right? And that's a setup because, the more, from an American perspective, the more that we are divided, it's the less that we can come together and really make progress, right? And we, Caribbean people and African people, fall into that sort of setup against our brothers and sisters that are native African. It's very disappointing. I also speak from the perspective that I am the president of the African Descent Lutheran Association here in the Southeast. In this building that we're in here, this is a Lutheran church. And part of the difficult role I have is being able to help my African descent, African American brothers and sisters understand the value of that connectiveness. So I think that events like this openness, this ability to discourse, as you say, just the conversation, and the conversation brings you, the person embodied in who you are, into the room, not listening at the television, somebody else's opinion, giving it to you. It's a very different dynamic, right? You pull something different out of it. The conversation, to me, is the door to continuing connectiveness happens, and how it is that we lift up what it means to be of this dark melanin. Very last to say, to your point about access, I think that you make a solid point to say that in terms of making it fun and making it look like it's something that everybody wants to go into. It is true that this is not the first time, and it is true that we ought not to let the moment fleet away and make it a movement. But I do think that this younger generation has found a way to make the art of the possible. The art of the possible is sometimes saying, well, 5 of us could go talk about something, but who is the best voice? Whose is the best voice to open the door? So if art is the best voice and music is the best voice, let us use that voice to support the access. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it myself personally.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
So I will say, as I'm wrapping up, I will say that I do have to get this one last question. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get this one last question, and then I want to wrap up, and I will address something in a second, but go ahead.
My question may be good to wrap it all up. One is it Ike's Cafe?
Yes,
is it local? We need to know where it is.
Okay.
And second, I'm sorry?
It's in Norcross.
In Norcross, no problem with that. We just need to know, but also we need to know in order to support your businesses. And we need to know who you are. Is it possible for us to know your names and where you're from and your businesses, so that when we do go back to Africa or go to Africa, we can let you know, or so that we can be in contact with you, so that in our efforts to have better communication and conversation, we know who to go to.
Yeah,
so can we get that information somehow?
As we wrap up the panel, I want to just go ahead and say thank you guys for sitting in on this panel. I do want to correct something, because I can't not say this. I respect my history. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I know the history. You guys opened the door and paved the way for us. There was just something that wasn't clicking. And I feel like, as you said, the voice, I think that art is the Renaissance. So I felt like that's the only reason why I feel like now we are on the radio. Now these clubs and all this stuff, we are owners of so much stuff. But there's so much more, even down to tradition. Like, the story is all being told one way or the other. And I would never take away from the people who have paved the way for me. So I just need to say that. I am Anita Sapo. My name is Nita Pop. You can find me pretty much everywhere, N-I-T-A-P-O-P. And I'm going to let everybody else say where you can find them. And thank you so much for joining in on this panel.
Okay, and then my name is Kwabena Kwarting. I am the CEO of Ike's Cafe and Grill, and we're located in Norcross, Georgia, and I'll be around, so we can have good conversation and things like that. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So.
My name is Jamila Kizondo. I'm the founder of J. Kizondo Swahili Bites. I do more of Swahili Kenyan foods. We kata and a lot of vending pop-ups and all that. You can find me on Instagram with the same name, J. Kizondo Swahili Bites. But like my brother said, we're going to be here for a while, so we can exchange all that. I teach Swahili language, one-on-one or virtual, and I also go to a kindergarten because there is an African school. I'm still new in America. I'm just 2 years here, guys. All right, so pardon me. So I teach Swahili in one of the, there's a kindergarten school here in Atlanta. It's called Play Pan-African. Yeah, I teach Swahili. We do everything. I try as much as I can to let the kids explore the beauty of Africa. I make them cook with the firewood. You know, we use the tins. We play with the mud. We make toys with the muds and things of that nature to really make them feel at home, feel, you know, the African perspective. So I'll talk to you guys more. Let me give a chance to the rest.
Again, I want to say thank you for you guys being here. My name is J. Ennis. I am the managing director of a construction and logistics company based in Monrovia, Liberia, called Tribe Buchanan Development. We also do a lot of consultation and property development, along with working with Africans in the diaspora. We work with any and everybody who's looking to do construction or property development, in Liberia and in the region. We have a good base of where we just educate people on that process if you're looking for ownership of property and things like that back home. So our company actually today, just presence being here, is one of the sponsors of the event today. So I have a little table back there by the window there with some business cards and information about our company and how to contact me directly. So I'll be here for the rest of the day as well too, so we'd love to be able to answer any other questions that anyone has.
Hi, sorry again. Victor Ayara is my name, and I will be glad to answer any questions you have. A lot of times people ask me, what do you do? I think the right question is, what don't you do? Because I wear many hats, depending on the situation and where I find myself. I'm a survivalist, I'm a creative, and I am very restless with ideas. So whatever it is that you think in whatever shape or form, we can work together. I have a few business cards. I would be glad to give that out. And thank you very much for coming out and listening to us and contributing as well.
Thank you so much, everyone, once again. And I'm Anita Sapo, Anita Pop. I'm the founder of the Culture Shock Show. I pretty much put cultural events together, curate cultural events, but because of COVID and everything, I started doing virtual things. So I took my love for film and fashion, and I created the Culture Shock Live, which is now a fashion film. You can find it on YouTube. I have a premiere for the next film, 2021, actually happening November 21st at the Cine Bistro Halcyon. So yeah, I'll be here. Let's talk. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Janje Ennis, and I am the creative behind this gathering known as the Africa Expo. So when I dreamt of this, it was nearly about building bridges and making connections between people of the African diaspora, recognizing that for over 400 years, there have been people who have been stripped away from their culture and language, and recognizing as an immigrant who came to the United States when I was 10 years old, living the Black experience in America, that there was something to community, there was something about Black people all across the diaspora holding on to one another, holding on to the traditions and culture. And something I admire the most as an immigrant is that if it weren't for my brothers and sisters who were stripped away from the continent so long ago, who fought tirelessly for civil rights, that we would not have been able to enjoy the liberties that are afforded to us in this nation today. And so I have been deeply inspired by activists and what they do. I myself have delved into the work of activism at times, but it is a work that is tiresome. And whenever we meet and encounter those in our community who are doing that work, it is our responsibility to publicly love on them, to thank them, and to let them know that we see you, we hear you, we are journeying with you, and we will not stop and we will not rest until all of us experience the freedom and the promise of abundant life. I'm a theologian also at heart, and so that piece comes to mind about living life and living it in abundance. And so this ceremony honors and builds a bridge literally through tradition and culture, connecting our brothers and sisters here in the United States to the authentic culture of Africa, and to do that in a way that honors their work of activism. And so without further ado, I would like to pass the mic to my dear friend and partner in compassion, Sis Iyabo Onipede, who is going to explain a bit more about why we are gathered. Thank you.
I love you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. I'm so proud of you for putting this on and making this connection. So I want to say a couple of words before I invite another co-conspirator up, and I'm so excited to see all of you. And I want, hi Becky Evans, I want us to take as many pictures and brag to the whole world about what we're doing here. So my name is Iyamo Onikwede. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria, born and bred, and I consider myself a Yoruba woman more than anything else. And to be afforded the opportunity to bring my culture into a multi-cultural, spiritual space like this, shout out to St. John's for giving us this space, it's like a highlight for me. So I came to this country when I was 16, and I honestly had no clue that I was a Black person. I knew I was African, I knew I was Yoruba, I didn't know I was Black, because that's terminology we use here. I didn't understand the holes in the hearts to draw you in, right, and say, I see you through my African eyes as beloved mothers of the community. The same thing that women activists do in Africa. That same DNA is in our honorees today. My tribe, we give chieftaincy titles to honor people who have shifted the community, who have, it's a way of earning the right to become an ancestor when you die. So there are layers that I can't even articulate, but I hope you receive it in your heart. Okay? Dr. Larche, would you please come on? Dr. Larche was my professor of African spiritual care at Campbell School of Theology. And I have so much respect for him. He's a bishop in the Methodist Church of Ghana, and he's an esteemed professor. His scholarliness knows no bounds, and he's from Ghana. And what we're doing today, I've taught you my Yoruba piece. Throughout Africa, we honor our elders, we honor truth when we see it, because the truth is, y'all have changed the game. So we do believe in that honor. We all do it differently. So Dr. Larche is also going to participate in this. Thank you. This is a proclamation, and this is for Danetta E. Smith, more popularly known as Miss D. Whereas, can you all hear me, or do I need the microphone? Okay. Whereas D. Smith has displayed exemplary leadership in her pursuit of justice for Black people in DeKalb County, Georgia, as an active life member of NAACP, an exemplary attorney, and in her passionate pursuit for rectifying justice unserved and justice misplaced. Whereas NAACP DeKalb works to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights of all persons and to eliminate race-based discrimination, their vision is to educate the public on matters that impact them, equip them with the necessary resources, and empower them to use this information to grow stronger. Whereas D. Smith served on the DeKalb County Executive Branches Executive Committee for several years, and she chaired 3 committees: the Legal Redress Committee, the Jubilee Day Committee, and the DeKalb Remembrance Community, as well as overseeing all legal issues involving the branch. Whereas D. Smith, after the 2018 Jubilee Day program, whereas D. Smith served as the chairperson of the Jubilee Day Committee from 2013 to 2021 to celebrate Jubilee Day, which celebrates the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation and aims at educating the public on Black history, including but not limited to honoring DeKalb County's unsought plight of Black Indians, past and present racial terrorism, and the American promises applied to Black people. Whereas D. Smith, after the 2018 Jubilee Day program focusing on racial terrorism, sought and received permission from the DeKalb Branch's Executive Committee to establish the DeKalb County Project, a coalition of DeKalb County civic, government, and religious groups brought together for the sole purpose of erecting memorials to the victims of lynching in DeKalb County. Whereas, under the leadership of D. Smith, the DeKalb County Remembrance Project has collected soil in jars from the sites of terror that are displayed at the Legacy Museum in Montgomery, Alabama, and erected historic anti-lynching markers from the Equal Justice Initiative in DeKalb County, in front of the courthouse in Lithonia, and in this neighborhood in Druid Hills.
So may I invite you, may I invite you to please stand up and come right up here with us. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's fine. Yes, this is it. Yeah. Now therefore, and this is on the scroll, now therefore, be it resolved that the Africa Expo, along with collaborators Dr. Emmanuel Latte and Compassionate Atlanta, and in the presence of all of us here as witnesses, as well as those unseen among us, ancestral and future, do hereby deem it an honor and a pleasure to extend an honorific from the Akan peoples of Ghana to D. Smith. This honorific is Nana Nkoswo Ima. In the Akan language, this means Queen of Progress. Wow. And so we present to you not only the scroll, but also a symbol of your attainment of queenhood of progress in recognition of your tireless leadership on the DeKalb Remembrance Project and your unwavering commitment to our community on this 30th day of October 2021. You are a leader in our community.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
We would love a few words from you.
Well, you know, you never give your microphone to a preacher or a lawyer.
And I'm both.
Okay? But thank you so very much. I'm going to need your help with the pronunciation. We'll probably have to go to school right after this is over so you can drill me. Okay?
We're all going to say it a few times before we go.
But thank you so much. The DeKalb Remembrance Project has been a labor of love ever since we brought the idea to the NAACP, DeKalb's Executive Committee. And they heard about it. We said, look, folks, we have all these monuments to terrorists in DeKalb County, including one carved on the side of the mountain. But there's nothing to honor the victims of racial terrorism in our, as a matter of fact, in the whole state, there was only one other city, the LaGrange, that had done anything like this. So our executive committee, and Martha was on that executive committee, and they approved it unanimously. There wasn't a single voice of opposition. And we worked, we sent out invitations, or rather, actually invitations came to us. I keep telling people this was a project of God's doing. People called us and said, we heard what you're doing, can we be a part of it? We got to meet people we never would have met in any other way in life, and people who just worked and poured their hearts into it. And even during the pandemic, we were able to erect the 3 monuments, collect all the soil, and some of the soil will be on display right here in DeKalb County at the DeKalb History Center. Some of the soil will be on display at the EGI Museum in Montgomery, Alabama. I am just so thankful to the people and everybody who worked on this project. Would you stand up, because this is your doing. There's no way one person could have done this. Stand on up. These people, and there were about 50 groups and individuals who just worked so hard to get everything done. And I thank you, and it's only on their behalf that I will accept that. Okay? Thank you.
You understand? Thank you.
So, after school? Okay. I've got to learn to pronounce this, folks. Oh, you want a picture? Sorry.
We gotta have a picture.
Have a good one. Thank you, Mom. That's right. Because I would have forgotten.
I'll pretend this is right? Thank you, Ms. Steve. Let's give her a round of applause. I've known Ms. Steve for about 30 years, believe it or not. But we haven't been knowing each other that whole time. So that's true. Well, DeKalb County is big, and Ms. D worked on issues within the county of DeKalb. But our next awardee is City of Decatur. So, proclamation for Fanta R. High. Whereas Fanta High has displayed exemplary leadership in the pursuit of justice and the wellness of Black people as an activist and community organizer, as well as a licensed professional counselor. Her work is centered on healing those who have experienced trauma, struggling with substance abuse, empowering women who have lost self-confidence and suffer low self-esteem, and equipping students with the tools needed to improve their mental health to perform at their highest capacity. Whereas as the co-chair of the executive committee of the Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights and Decolonize Decatur, hereafter Beacon Hill Alliance, Fanta High remains committed to doing the persistent and dedicated work to decolonize our community in every aspect and place the indigenous African connection that was made on this land in Decatur at the center of all that they do through empowerment, advocacy, education, and organizing people of African descent affected by systemic racism and oppression on issues of equality in education, housing, and the legal system in the city of Decatur and surrounding communities. Whereas under the collaborative leadership of Fanta R. High, the Beacon Hill Alliance co-organized efforts to remove the 1836 Indian war camp that is currently on Decatur City Square on the 200th anniversary of the land lottery in DeKalb County, because this monument represented the military forced removal of the Muskogee Creek Nation from their land, the subsequent distribution of the land to white people through settler colonialism, the subsequent exploitation of the stolen people brought to Decatur from Africa to work for the plantation economy. This made the state with the highest number of enslaved people and slaveholders than any other state in the lower South. Consequently today, there are ongoing great inequities experienced by Black people in Decatur, whereas under said collaborative leadership of Fonta High, the oppressive and racist narratives about Black people is being changed in Decatur City through the Art for the People installation of a statue, What Sonia Said, in September 2021, a result of a partnership between the Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights, Decatur Makers, and the Decatur Arts Alliance.
And so, Ma'am Fonta, I invite you to come. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Africa Expo, along with collaborators, Dr. Emmanuel Laute and Compassionate Atlanta, and Unseen, Ancestral and Future, do hereby deem it an honor and pleasure to extend this honorific from the Akan peoples of Ghana to Fonta RI on the occasion of the Africa Expo celebration on October 30th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia, and urges the entire city of Decatur and all Black people to celebrate and honor her leadership. Fonta High is Nana Nkosuo Hima, Queen of Progress. In recognition of your tireless leadership on the Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights and Decolonize Decatur, and your unwavering commitment to our community, you are a leader in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, I feel incredibly undeserving of this moment. Is this better? Okay. I'm honored to have stood beside the person who came before me, Dee Smith of NAACP. The NAACP legacy is so rich, and it's paved the way for organizations like Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights. So I'm grateful for NAACP's work. My grandmother was a member of NAACP. Again, it's a rich family legacy as well. But I feel incredibly honored because it's coming, this award is coming from my African community. And that means more than anything. More than anything. As an African woman whose ancestry is from West Africa, that just humbles me. So thank you. I really want to also lift up my elders, Mayor Emeritus Elizabeth Wilson, who organized for Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights to be possible. I stand on her shoulders, along with the other co-founders of Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights, Attorney Mosley Davis, his wife Jana Johnson Davis, Ingrid Myrick, and so many others. They've enabled me to do the work and decolonize Decatur, and I'm grateful that there's an organization I can funnel my passion and love for community into. So thank you for this award.
Thank you.
I did promise that we would
Yes, we have to have a
rehearse
lesson.
the name
Yes, sir.
properly. chiefs, traditional rulers in Ghana get the stool, right? It's a symbol of office, right? And what you have in the stool is an Adinkra symbol. It's a symbol that speaks of the unity of the people. And the honoring lies in the fact that you are granted a stool. You are granted to become an honorary traditional queen. That's the way in which Africans honor those that have made significant contributions to the community. The title, the name is Nkoswo Imam. Nkoswo Imam. Can you say that? Nkoswo Imam. Nkoswo means progress. Ohima is queen, right? Nana is the title for a great person, male or female. So Nkoswo means progress, Ima means queen. Nkoswo Ima. Nkoswo. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you. Very good.
Thank you so much for participating in this, and it's just so meaningful to me. I just want to point one little thing out. Did you see how they didn't talk about themselves, only their community? That's why they're great. Right. Thank you for coming. Janji, next. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We do, did you guys enjoy the ceremony? I'm sure a lot of us were able to understand why we do what we did, and also John Jay honoring those who are very active in the community. And thank you so much for being here to witness it as well. So next on our list, our sponsors who have made all this possible as well. Tri Buchanan, we do have a speaker from Tri Buchanan. Yes? Okay. If we can have a word from Tri Buchanan, if you guys can give them a hand.
I'll make it very brief. My name is BJ Ennis. Aside from being Janjay's little brother, I am the managing director of a construction and logistics company based in Monrovia, Liberia, called Tri Buchanan Development. We have a U.S. partner, and a big focus of our company is just supporting progress wherever we can. We are big proponents of supporting the African diaspora, promoting development and growth back home in Africa. We believe that African Americans and Africans and anyone who loves and has a sweet spot for Africa needs to go back and help to be part of the rebuilding process. So events like this are monumental to bridging the gap, building collaboration. So in our little way, Tri Buchanan was able to be a sponsor for the Africa Expo. We look forward to supporting this event again in the future and seeing this event continuously grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, Miss Diamond Sompon. So she has a project that she'd like to share with us, and I'm just going to give her the floor. Is she around? Okay, come on down, sister. You're welcome. There you go.
Thank you. Hello, how we doing? It has been my absolute pleasure being here today. My team and I came in from Maryland, and it's been fun. I'm glad I was able to make it. I'm Diamond. I'm an actress and a producer here in Maryland, and I also work in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm from West Africa, Liberia, and I like to say I'm African first, then I'm everything else. So being African first is very important to me. To be able to find like-minded people like myself first, and encourage our African brothers and sisters in the diaspora
to come back home and be a part of this here Renaissance movement. It's happening whether you come or not, but it's happening. It will be a blessing for you to be a part of it. In one of our quests, this is Casey. Coming to Africa. It's pretty simple, right? You can't forget it. So Coming to Africa is a company with a group of partners, and we are doing a reality TV show. It will be filming in March, and the show we're taking 15 African Americans to Lagos, Nigeria, and they're going to be staying in the house for 30 days. Our goal is to be able to expose them to the art, culture, traditions that is in Lagos, because as you all know, Lagos is now the hub of Africa. That's where everything is happening. So they get to go through different competitions. We also get to explore different sites and tourism spots in Nigeria. For example, Badagry, which is the slave route from Nigeria. I know a lot of people are familiar with the slave route that's in Ghana, but not quite with a place such as Badagry. And there are multiple spots like that all across Africa. And we do need to explore, because that's where lies our history and our purpose as Africans. So I'm really excited about this show. We're currently casting, and all you have to do is be Black. That's the only requirement of African American descent to compete. It's a cash prize of $100,000. It's enriching in art and culture. 21 years and older. So it's an amazing opportunity and an amazing experience for whoever decides to participate. We also have a tour component to this reality show. For those of you who don't want to be famous in that manner, you can still come to Africa too and explore and experience those same exact sites that the show will be happening on. Oh yeah, and you don't have to be Black to participate in that part. Everybody is welcome. We're very inclusive in Africa, I promise. So thank you very much for having me. I'll be in the back. I'll be able to answer all of your questions. If you're shy and you can't talk to me, just stand my back and you'll get all the information you need on the website, I promise, okay? So we'll be around. We look like this. We got a t-shirt and a barcode. So just pick up your phone and just scan it. There you go. We're gonna try and see if it works. Does it work? Okay. Please work, Jesus. We in church. It works. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It works. So thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. I'm telling you, it's so super easy. It works? It works, yeah. So we'll be in the back. I thank you guys for your time. Once again, I've done some fun. And if you go online, it's coming to AfricaCasting.com. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to Ms. Diamond and the representative from Tribe Buchanan. We have a live band here with us. Actually, we have two, but the first one is from West Africa. And let me just check in with them to see if...
Can I just 5 minutes of sound check?
5 minutes of sound check? Okay. All right. I think we can give them that, right? Yes? Okay. You guys have been great. Have we all been here since the beginning? Yes? Okay. Did we make sure we got the vendors, we patronized them, maybe asked them some questions, bought a few things? Did we? Yes, we did? Okay. I tried to buy a few things, but I'm running here and there, everywhere. We'll give the musicians a few minutes, and I will welcome them back up. Thank you for being patient. Thank you. Yes, this is a good break time. party time if you'd like to use the restroom.
You take care of yourself, okay? All right. Send me an email tomorrow, let me know how you feel. Oh, I'm sure I'm fine. Hey, I'm
Right? We had a few squeaks here and there. I'm sure you guys felt that. So we're going to have a music performance today, all the way from West Africa. These two musicians, I'm going to call them both musicians because the singer, she also plays an instrument as well. We have Tosinga and Mr. Bayo Bello in the house. And the two of them have had a long career in music, and today they're going to fuse together and give us some of their pieces that they have been able to compile together. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Tosinga, Soul Singer, and Mr. Bayo Bello, Afro jazz musician. Give them a round of applause.
Test 1, 2. Thank you everyone for your patience. Thank you for sticking around. We just Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Reduce the volume. Reduce the volume. Reduce the volume. Alright, technical issues. Welcome everyone, my name is Tosinga and I have Mr. Bayo Bello with me. We'll make do with what we have. We've had to cut some things out of our set list and we were supposed to originally perform outside. So it's all last minute, moving all those things in and setting it up. So I hope you understand and bear with us and still try and enjoy the music, okay? Yeah, so we have a couple of songs we're gonna do. The first one is because I'm also an African folktale storyteller. It's derived from a folktale. And one of the important things in the African culture, which is what we're doing, the Africa Expo is doing today, bringing everyone together in the marketplace. The marketplace plays a very, very prominent role in the gathering of the community. So there's a folk tale that talks about Eroja. I'm from the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria, and most of my music is, I incorporate a lot of Yoruba in it. So, Oja means marketplace. Can you say that with me? Oja. 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 So when I say Eroja, which means the market people, all the market people, Eroja, Olowo. Olowo means wealthy people. Eroja, Olowo. So if I say Eroja, Olowo, Jalolo, Jalolo. So Jalolo, Jalolo is a call and response. In African music, there's a lot of call and response. So I say, Eroja, Olowo. You say, Jalolo, Jalolo. Eroja, Olowo. Just 3 syllables, people. Jalolo. Repeat after me. Jalolo. You all need some palm wine or something to. Is there a palm wine vendor outside? You need some zest in your spirit. Ja-lo-lo. Ja-lo-lo. So when I say Eroja Olowo, Ja-lo-lo, Ja-lo-lo, Eroja Olowo. Ja-lo-lo, Ja-lo. Good. Eroja Olomo. Ja-lo-lo, Ja-lo. See, let me tell you one thing. Spiritually, if you respond, you're going to become really, really wealthy. Yes, like Eroja Olowo, because Olowo means wealthy people. So if you don't respond, you're like reducing the dollar inflow. So you better sing it out. So Eroja Olowo, Eroja Olomo. Okay, we can put the music to it now. Eroja Olowo. Thank you all for participating in that. Thank you. Eshu.
wí máa rò máa rí sọ, ohun tó sọ mí dá láròyé o. Tẹ bá bí mi lè máa rí sọ. Ẹni ọ̀rẹ́ dà kó má fi ṣèbí ní, ẹni abínibí ń dání. Torí alájọ bí rò sí mọ́ o, alájọ bí màlúù. Alájọ bí òtún wá tó, ṣe bínú ẹni kò lójú ẹni. Ọ̀rọ̀ mi dorí òdorí, ó dorí ẹdún. Nítorí rẹ̀ jù jáde, ó ti kúrú lọ nígboro. Bí wọ́n yé tẹ́lu wáyé, wọ́n ní kẹ́tù sanwó ilẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀. Ẹ̀rù bàgì lọ́rí, olówó ní sanwó ilẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀. Ó ní àjọ tó fún sanwó ilẹ̀, ó wá sùkà lórí ìṣeré. Ẹ̀rù jáde, ó ti kúrú lọ.
Thank you very much. The next song is a rhythm tune called Dog Fire, Promised Land. Enjoy.
Take me where the living is fine. Where the living is fine. Promised land. Take me to the promised land. Promised land. Take me to the promised land. Where the living is fine. Where the living is fine.
Take me to the promised land where the living is fine. Take me to the promised land where the living is fine. Everybody. See you Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Put your hands together for Tosinga.
And a
been a pleasure performing for you today. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you to Tosinga and Mr. Baylor again. That was really nice. Did you guys enjoy it? Yes. So we have a dancing group, and they go by Jolie Kalim. And if I got it wrong, you guys just correct me if I'm wrong. This company focuses on documenting, preserving, and highlighting the health, healing, fitness, and transformative power of African diasporic dance. In the Bambara language, we're gonna find out where Bambara's from, because I wanna know. And Jolie Kalim means one blood. So you guys give them a round of applause as they get together in their places. And we also have some drummers that have come with the dancers as well. So I will wait for the cue. DJ, or do we have a DJ? Playing? No? The live music only? Okay. Okay. I'm ready whenever you are.
mask down, get some air in the lung. Post-COVID performances. Thank you guys so much. We are Jolie Kennenig. We're an intergenerational, nonprofit, traditional arts collective. Our youngest member is about, how's Carter? 3. He's about 3 years old. Our oldest member is 73. We are a service-based organization seeking to introduce, reintroduce, and bring you home where it all started at. We appreciate John Jay for having us here today. But like in any village, any culture, there are not really any performances, right? Not really any performers, right? So we're gonna ask a couple people to come up and join us. Come on! I'll ask you to come up. Remember, I'll put my mask back on if that makes anybody else feel safer. Come on up. Come on, especially the little people. Come on. Let's go. Come on. It won't be hard, I promise. I promise. So while everyone is coming, very good. While everyone is coming, the dance that we just performed, the dance that we're about to teach a couple steps to. Right. The dance is called D-Da-D. Can everybody say D-Da-D? D-Da-D. D-Da-D is from Mali, West Africa. It means sweet and sweet. It's a celebration dance that happens in the village. So, spread out. Can teach y'all some steps. Spread it out, guys. Spread it out. Very good. You can put the little people up there. Look right there. Oh, y'all are so beautiful. So, and y'all just sitting there, don't think that y'all not a part of the village. Everybody has a job in the village. That's right. Everybody. That's right. We're all interconnected. Yeah. So, you're gonna clap and do hand gestures. Whatever we're doing with our hands, go for it. Okay? All right. Our first step is gonna be kind of like the bus stop. So we're gonna go 2 to the back, 2 to the front, back, back, front, front, yeah, back, back, front, front, back. And we're gonna clap 2 times. Clap, 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 clap. People in the audience, clap, clap. Roll your hands. Clap, clap. Good. Roll it. Very good. 5, 6, 7, and stop. How many people familiar with Beyonce? I know we are. Beyonce pulls a lot throughout your names. So she has this little song that goes, y'all seen that in our videos? Okay, that's our next step, minus the hands. Okay, so our feet are gonna go kick, 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 kick. Our hands are just gonna do a brick wall. Brick, 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 brick. 5, 6, 7, and stop. These drummers, traditionally they can talk across villages, right? Yeah. I play something the next village knows what I'm playing. They come over for the celebration. They're gonna tell us when to start, change, stop. They're gonna be our 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see what our 5, 6, 7, 8 sounds like. Did y'all hear 5, 6, 7, 8 in there? Mm-hmm. No. Let's try it, let's try it. 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there, let's try it again. It's right in there, okay? So we're gonna start out, they're gonna start the music. We're gonna do number 1, then we're gonna do number 2. At the 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? All right, let's go. If you don't know about traditional music, all of this vibration that we're feeling, that's healing our body, they're making it happen. Kind of like control the situation. So if they go very fast, we gotta go with them. They go very slow, we gotta go with them, okay? So let's see where they go. We're gonna try that one more time. Participate in, we're spiritual people, okay? We're spiritual first. So when the spirit goes there, we just allow it to take our bodies there. So that's exactly what I want everybody in here, to let the music and the spirit take you wherever it leads you. We don't have to tell you that because it's already in there, okay? All right? So it's like your own personal, I'm in my own space, I'm in my own circle right here. But just, if you want to just do a little two-step right there, make it happen, okay? All right, on the third one. And y'all can get up out y'all seats. Y'all know what happens when that organ goes up, okay? All right. Thank John Jay. I don't know where she is. I'm sure she's running around. But John Jay and I met in dance class probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And through there we built the relationship. We continue to build. And this is such an awesome experience. And we're right where we need to be, right at this time. We could have been anywhere else in the world, but we're right here. So, we have classes every Sunday, 12:30 to 2 o'clock at Pasofina Dance Studio in Sandy Springs. Everyone is welcome to come and join us. For the next 4 weeks, we have a special program that centers on children and families. So it's important, my son and my husband there, it's important, sisters, we become grandmas and aunties. It's important that families, if you're in a village, y'all know in Africa, There's not a mama going to a dance class by herself. There's not a mama saying, I'm gonna leave this baby at home while I go and do this, unless it's something the baby can't be at. It's a village. So trying to promote that village life the next 4 weeks to recreate that so that we know this is where we come from, this is where we're going. And we can only do that by being a family. We can only make that happen by being a family. So thank you again. I'm gonna end it for you all. Y'all did an amazing job, Thank you again for having us.
Hi, I'm Diamond Sampon, and it has been an absolute pleasure being at the African Expo. This is actually my very first year, and I'm very impressed. I was pleased with the entertainment, and I look forward to next year. Thank you. It's very important to bring Africans in the diaspora together because we are such a powerful force when we are together in helping us to rebuild our community as we do here in the U.S. and in Africa. Because we're not able to build Africa by ourselves, so we need everybody to join in on the quest so we can be able to make this Renaissance movement impactful and be able to get a better Africa for our future tomorrow.
Pictures, videos, all the content that we need for this event to keep going. I'm sure you guys have been enjoying yourselves so far. We've had music, dancing. Did you guys feel that burn when you were dancing a little bit? Doing the arm roll, doing the clap clap? Okay. So we have one more musical act. The name of the band is Time Flight. And this is an eclectic band of funk, jazz, soul, pop, and hip-hop standards. And they have joined together today to come and give us a good time. Time Flight, can I have hands raised so I know where you are? Time Flight, okay. All right, are you guys ready? Sound check? Okay. All right, this is another opportunity for you to go to the restroom, get refreshed, get a snack outside. I don't know if we have vendors that still have food and refreshments, but if you want to take a little break, we'll just give Time Flight some time to get together, and we'll be right back.
It's important to bring the African diaspora together because together we are stronger. Together we can do great things. Together we can make the world a more just place and a safe space for all of us. Over 400 plus years ago, Africans were taken out of the continent of Africa and were brought to the Western world. And since then, they've been looking for a way to connect home. So the Africa Expo builds those bridges between our people all around and lets them know you are resilient, you are powerful, you have purpose, and you are creative, all because you are deeply rooted in African culture and you are from Africa. My favorite part about the Expo this year has been the ways in which we've connected to a lot of important stakeholders in the community. For example, we hosted a African honoring ceremony this year to honor 2 activists in our community here who have done great work towards bringing about justice in a more beloved community. And so seeing various activists who have worked together, come together to bring awareness to lynching that has happened right in this community and in this county and in this state, and to be proud of those people and to say we see you, we hear you, we know you, and we appreciate you has been a very powerful part of participating in the Expo this year. Black businesses are the bedrock of our communities. There are so many talented and creative people within our communities who do so many things, who are seamstresses, who are graphic designers, who are artists, who are musicians, who are caterers. And I think it's really important that we look within our own communities to be able to access some of the services that we need. When we do that, we are able to empower the generations to come to be able to follow their true selves and their creative selves and to be able to serve their own communities first. Because when we support our own, we are stronger. Okay. Hi, my name is Janja Innes, and I am the founder and the creator of the Africa Expo. I created the Expo as an opportunity to bring the Black diaspora together, recognizing that we are powerful, we are strong, we are creative, we are resilient because our roots come from Africa. I have been so amazed in the ways that African culture has been able to recreate itself in foreign lands, in the Caribbean, here in the United States, in parts of Europe, in parts of Asia, and that's a testament to who we are, where we're from, and the fact that we are in the present and we are going to be in the future as well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end of the African Expo, and we have this phenomenal band here with us. The Time Flight Band is an eclectic band of funk, jazz, soul, hip hop, and classical standards. So we hope that you guys enjoy.
Good evening, everybody. We are Time Flight Band, and we take you through a journey of time with music, soul, a lot of smiles, and a lot of fun. We are featuring this evening Soki. Yeah. Give her a round of applause. I know there ain't many people there. We can do better than that. She little, but she's a little powerhouse. She's gonna present to you this evening her single, Free. All right? Y'all give her another round of applause.
How are you guys this evening? How are you? It's good to see your beautiful faces. I want to say something really quick. And I know the event, and this is why I have on the colors, because I wanted to be festive with you guys. And I know that we may not have the African drums, but I believe that rhythm and blues all stems from the roots of our African ancestors and blood. So I hope you enjoy this. Just to, feel free. Be who you are. And that's why I wrote this song, because I had to realize that, you know what, I'm free to be me.
Yeah.
So no matter what your endeavors are, whatever you're pursuing, whatever your career is, whatever your culture, you are free to be who you are. You understand that? All right. So I am ready, band, whenever you are ready. So we all can feel free. All right. This is an original. It's called Free to Be Me. your mind? Are you free in your spirit? Are you free in the things that you believe? Thank God I'm free to believe. Thank God I'm free to believe. Oh, y'all sound good. Come on with it. Thank God I'm free to be. Yeah, bless you. Thank you. God bless you.
That's awesome. So, Keith.
That's my baby.
Yeah. That's right. That's his baby.
Have to make that
All right, y'all ready for some good music? Yeah? All right.
Yeah, baby.
sing along with us. All right. Sweetest taboo. Anybody like Sade? I like some Sade. Me too.
For the record, that is my little lady. Sade.
Does she know that?
She don't know it. Good morning. It's breakfast. Lost track of time, but we had a ball. Let's catch a movie. Then dinner. Tonight the night will just stop by and say, hey, let's stay personal, personal, personal. Let's stay for a while and play. Let's just take this a moment. Alright y'all, I hope y'all, we're a time flight, so we're just doing a little bit. Let's see if y'all know this little harmony. Let's do it like this. Come on. We're going to take y'all back a little further. See if y'all remember this. Y'all sing along with us. Sing along with us. Though you may not try, a great big Cadillac, engine in the back, the engine in the back. You may not have a car, but remember, brothers and sisters, you still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. That sounds good, right? Get it again. Break it down, man. Break it down, man. In the back, sun rooftop, digging the sea with the gasoline. One more time. Take it out. One more time. Diamond in the back, sun rooftop, digging the sea with the gasoline. All right. Thank you.
Y'all like Aretha? Yeah? We're gonna do some Aretha for you.
Aretha.
All right, here we go. Put your hands together. I need y'all to party with me on this. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Get your rock on. Oh, yeah. Let's bring it to you now. Let's call this song exactly what it is. Say
Get out